Peace everyone, and welcome once again to Tea with Tosha. So this week's video was inspired by a conversation that I was having at work. They call me the tea pusher, and I was drinking a tea, and it was a black tea, which is the one I'm jonesing on this week. Nandi Gold by Justea. And I was sharing it with one of my coworkers who drinks tea, a couple coworkers who drink tea. And they were asking me questions about like black tea, like how long do you steep it, what do you put in it, and things like that. And I was like, you know how certain things you take for granted, or you just think that, oh no, that's too simple, or no one needs to know that. But I didn't. That's when I had this little light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a video just on how to brew a basic cup of black tea. Some people, I'm not one of those people who, I'm not a bag tea snob at all. If it's a good black tea and it comes in a bag, I'm with it, okay? So, I don't know why my hair is separated. So, so today I decided to make a cup of black tea for you all, which, as you know, if you stick around till the very end, you'll see me actually making the tea. There are just a few tips, let's say about 4 tips to making black tea that people tend to overlook. One is make sure you're using good water. Like if you're using, what's her name, Erin Brockovich water, or water that has a flavor, or water that is not filtered, your tea is gonna affect the outcome of your tea. Another thing, some people say to let the water come to a rolling boil. I'm a rolling boil type of girl. Others say let it come to a rolling boil and then sit. I like the rolling boil. Another thing is consider the type of black tea that you're drinking. Sometimes there are black teas that are not as strong, not as potent, not as, the quality is not as good. And you'll notice that some teas are more almost dusty looking, because they're blended so far out that it's like there's no tea. You see how you can see literally the standing pieces of tea in this? You can see the leaves. That's kind of how you want your tea to look. And this tea is the bomb. Big up to Justea with this Nandi Gold, because it's bomb. The black tea, I'm a black tea girl. I love black tea. I love the richness. I love the boldness. I love the body of it. Another thing is when you're steeping your tea, you don't want to go over about 5 minutes for your tea. They say average is 3 to 5 minutes for a steeping black tea. If you do, it's not going to kill you. Might be a little stronger, a little more bitter. But with black tea, if you want it more potent, you would add more tea versus more time. Got it? And another thing, it's your tea. Do what you want to do. Some people drink black tea with lemon. Some people drink black tea straight up with no chaser. I'm a chaser girl. I like my milk and my sugar in my tea. Like it the British way, innit? Yeah, so you can try different black teas. Different black teas, depending on their origin, depending on the quality of tea, have different flavors or different characteristics. So just, some people are trying to actively switch from coffee to tea. And just like how you don't try one coffee and you're just like, I'm good with coffee. You try different coffees. The same thing with tea. Try different brands. Try different flavors. See who has tea on sale. And if you feel like the loose tea is too expensive, you can see who has tea on sale. Companies have tea sales all. Yeah, so see who has tea on sale. Like there might be a tea that you've been eyeing, and see who has tea on sale. Follow your fellow tea bloggers. There are many of us on Instagram. I feel like I have a whole tea crew, for real, on Instagram. I got tea bays, tea boos. There are so many people who drink tea, and they'll drink the tea for you so that you don't have to. They'll drink the tea So you can see if maybe there might be someone who has like a similar flavor vibe as you. Drink the tea that she's drinking. That'll save you some money and some time trying teas that might not taste good. Follow the directions on the tea. Most tea brands, most tea that you buy comes with instructions. This says 1 teaspoon, I need glasses, 1 cup, boil, 205, steep 3 minutes. See, I didn't follow the instructions. I steeped for 5. This says steep 3 minutes, I steeped for 5. But I could do that because I'm tea with Tosha. So I also add, as I told you, I like to add sugar. Usually coconut sugar, I might have a little addiction. Sugar and tea, I like my milk to be up. My milk, that's exactly what it is. I like my tea to be about this color. That's very important. And the tea shouldn't be like, you see how the tea is standing up to the light? I think the sun is going down. You see how the tea is like standing up to the light? You can't see through it. You shouldn't be able to see through your cup of tea. To me, I feel like with your black tea, you shouldn't be able to see through it. If you see it like separating or that you can see through it, I can look at the tea and know that that's not going to be my cup of tea. So on to the tea with Tosha-ness of it all. There's something that I've been thinking about. Just once again, I almost feel bad that I started my tea YouTube around this time because it feels to me kind of like all I'm talking about is what's going on between COVID, you know, the pandemic, between, you know, the issues with race, all of the issues that this country is facing right now. Quarantining, self-isolation, which some can deal with it and some cannot deal with it. The influx of like constant, you know, we're getting like a barrage of information coming at us at all times. And I feel like before, in say the 50s or 60s, you had your TV. We have TV, Instagram, Twitter, you know, conversations at work. So it's like you feel like sometimes like you're being inundated with information, with bad news. So one of the things I would like to suggest to you is keep your cup full. Keep your cup full. Fill your cup with all of the good that you can fill your cup with so that there's very little space for that negativity. We don't do negativity. That's one tea we don't do around here. So try to, I call it your internal thermostat. We have the ability to set our own internal thermostat. Don't let someone else reach their hand in and set your thermostat for you. If you like it at 72, you keep it at 72. And you do anything that you have to do to keep it to 72, whether it's unplugging, which is what I've been doing a lot of, drinking copious amount of tea, you know, planting, you know, go in your garden, or I don't have a garden, I live in an apartment, but it's a jungle in here, trust me. I have a lot of plants, I'm a plant mama. Read a good book, just sort of unplug and you'll see how good you feel. Because imagine just like a cup of anything that you're drinking, if it's full with this, then this is what it is. This is not Kool-Aid, this is not Diet Pepsi, this is not, you know, anything like this is tea, because that's what it's, the majority of it is tea. All of it is tea. So it is tea. So you will become flavored with whatever it is that you choose to fill your cup with. So make sure that whether you need constant refills, that's okay. Make sure that your cup is full with what you choose to fill your cup with. I am one of those people who believe that some of this is like destiny. Some of this is predetermined. So if we have to go along for the ride, make sure that you are as centered, you're buckled in, you're as centered as you can be for this ride. Or you're going to be all over the place. You know, make sure that you are as centered as possible. And how do you do that? Do things that you enjoy. Go, as cliche as it may sound, but the truth is hidden in the cliche. Go in nature. Go look at water. Go look at the things that have never failed you. The sun has never failed you. The clouds have never failed you. Water has never failed you. Trees, maybe except for Flint. Trees have never failed you. Plants have never failed you. Try to root yourself in whatever it is that you can root yourself in. Words, the power of words. Look, find your favorite book and reread it. Find a new book and read it. Find stories, YouTube videos, articles, blogs, podcasts about things that go beyond what's going on. It's an amazing thing to be informed. We have to be very careful about what we're being informed with and that we're not being misinformed. And I feel that there's a lot of truth that hasn't risen to the surface. We need to center ourselves and raise our vibration. And we do that by not imbibing the fear. We don't want to sip on fear. We want to sip on all things that bring us joy, things that bring us happiness. That's what we need to sip on in order to keep our vibrations high. If your fear lowers your vibration, when you're scared, you can't think properly. When you're scared, you're like frantic, and we don't want to be frantic. Right now, we need to be as centered as possible. And we need to give it, I call it a Care Bear stare. Remember Lionheart, my 80s babies? Remember Lionheart Bear and how all the Care Bears would put their love energy out and the love energy would combine? There are some of us who are supposed to be warriors in this, whatever this is going on. There are some of us who are supposed to be at home holding it down. There are some of us who are supposed to be, attempting to raise the vibration. And there are some of us who right now just have the capability to just you keeping yourself from losing your mind or from going crazy with all of this stuff that we're being inundated with. You are doing something. You know what I'm saying? It's one less person who's lost their head out in the world. And right now it feels like everyone has lost their head. So if that's all you can do, kudos to you. But whatever it is that you can do to center self, whatever you can do to keep your vibrations high, as cliche as it may sound, whatever it is that you feel that you need to do, you do it. Even we use the term basic, and we've kind of villainized the word basic, right? And there are certain basic things such as a cup of black tea. That's as basic as it gets. Basic, no frills, simple, original. That's all. We have to simplify. Everything is so complex right now. We have to work on simplifying. You simplify to get to the root. I wasn't a math girl, I was an English girl. But I do know that we had to simplify to get to the root. Sometimes I didn't get to the root. I didn't do too good in math. However, that is all, I think. That is all. My tea is actually now cold. It's not cold, it's room temperature, which my tea be like that sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. But my tea sometimes I get distracted sometimes, and my tea will sit until it's not the temperature that it's supposed to be, but it's still delicious. Once again, this is Justea, Nandi Gold. And I will put some pictures at the end so you can see, because I think this tea is absolutely delicious. It's like some fancy Kenyan tea. And the bag is biodegradable too. I think that was super cool too. The bag is biodegradable. I guess I should do probably a video one day listing like my favorite teas of 2020, because my favorite teas and milks of 2020. I think I'll do that. Let me know if you want to see a listing of my favorite teas of 2020 or 2019, which was a better year for all of us. Anyway, that is all. Thank you for having Tea with Tosha. And until we tea again, enjoy. Remember, simplifying, things being basic, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Center self. Find self first, and then center her or him. And that's the tea for today. Peace. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think about brewing. If you let me know if you had difficulty brewing a basic cup of black tea, like, you know, if you feel like your black tea game is off. Oh, and follow me on Instagram, Tea with Tosha. That's where I do most of my yapping and my teaing. But anyway, until we tea again, peace everyone. Be safe, be well. All right, and that's the tea. Peace. Okay, it's tea time. Here we have our Nandi Gold tea. And here's just a closer picture of it. Look how pretty. So here we're just pouring some filtered water from a bigger water filter to a smaller little water pitcher. Okay, so now that our water came to a boil, we can use our teaspoon, and we can use any sort of, this is an infuser. It goes like this. You can also use a reusable tea bag, or if you are making your black tea with a regular tea bag, that's okay. Same method. If you notice right here, this is probably after like a minute or so, and the tea is already starting to, besides for gurgle, it's also starting to catch some color. For me, this is about the color that I like for my my black tea, or my cuppa with milk, as they like to call it, to be. Now I see milk tea is a thing, and I guess I'm more of a milk tea drinker. And I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of coconut sugar because I like it like that. I'm mixing it with my tea infuser because I didn't bring a teaspoon over here. Don't judge me. And there we go. That's basically how we make a basic cup of black tea with milk. That's how I like it. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until we tea again.